Recently, I've been having this problem with social media and the internet. Here's another rant of me about the internet and its many issues. I'm joking, but seriously, I've been having, on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, there's been a lot of videos telling or popping up saying, do this to improve yourself, do this to grow in this way, do this to grow yourself in this way, have a growth mindset, grow, and grow, right? Now, obviously, some of these are good tips, but I've been mainly getting the growth mindset, right? And I'm gonna go a little bit into this today. I think the growth mindset is a real thing. It basically kind of the growth mindset in a nutshell is where, you allow people, learn from your mistakes. Basically, kind of it, right? Now, in a sense, I get how that's a real thing, and then I don't get how it's not like in like you think about it already, right? In a sense, like, because when you make a mistake, some people push it off, and now I don't know how they do that. Me personally, I can't push the mistake that I made off my mind, or because I want to learn from it, right? Maybe that's just what the growth mindset is. Maybe there's a need or a deep down need in every human to grow in some way, right? I know that every 7 years, I think it's 7 years, the body's cells, like molecular cells, like replace, right? And they grow old and then die, then your body slowly replaces them. I think it's every 7 years. I think I learned that one a while back. But it's kind of crazy how we're all growing older by the day, by the second, by the minute. Now, don't get caught up on that, right? Live in the moment, right? Live in the present. Don't dwindle on the future or past for too long. Maybe the future for a little bit, but not too long, right? But we're all growing, right? Because you're a different version of yourself that you were 1 month ago, right? If I go back 1 month, I would not think I'd be here right now, right? I would probably say I'd be over here learning this, learning that, watching this YouTube video, maybe not even making this video, right? It's it's kind of a rabbit hole that we're going down right now, right? Because I mean, if you a month ago you'd think you'd be here, but in reality you're here in a different spot, different area, because life takes you on different paths to grow, to grow you in a sense, right? When you go through life, or this crazy thing we call life and living, you grow from it, you learn, right? So a lot of trial and error, and we've been doing that for a while as humankind has been growing up. Now I'm not saying I'm tossing around the word grow a lot, but I'll be more general. This video is aimed at growing and growth and personal growth, but yeah, I think it's a good thing. I think everyone should grow in some way, shape, or form, even if it's height, muscle mass, maybe losing weight. It's not really growing, but in a sense, you're growing your mind to be disciplined and lose weight, right? Growing can be used many different ways, like plants. That's all I can think of right now. But I think I've been kind of, realizing, damn, as humans, we grow a lot throughout the year, right? Because, you make New Year wishes. Some of them come true, some of them don't, but if you stay persistent, they will, right? And if you look back a year in your life, right, you'll notice all the little things that have changed. A lot has changed, right? For me, I was doing some pondering and looking back in my life and seeing what has changed in the past year, and I'll say a lot has changed. Even though I thought not a lot has changed, right? I thought I've been doing the same thing for the past year, right? Coming home, going on my PC, and watching YouTube videos and not gaming, right? That's what my life has evolved to, sadly. I'm getting better though by doing this, by being creative and talking, right? So, in a sense, I've grown. You probably have grown in some way, shape, or form, even if you don't realize it, right? Maybe go ask your peer around you, or your friend, or your family member around you to see if you've grown in any way, or if they notice any changes about you, right? Because I guarantee you there is some change. Because we are ever changing to the unique environment that we create for ourselves, right? Because in a sense, we create our own environment to a degree, right? Especially with social media now these days. Now, I know I've talked a lot about social media in my past videos. I'll try not to go into it. It's a long, I can go on that for days. Even though I still use it, and I probably shouldn't, I still do just to get some ideas here and there, right? It's a great idea thinker. It's a good think tank. But growth is good for you, right? Back to the internet and YouTube. Yeah, when I was seeing all these growth videos, I was wondering, why are they popping up? Is the algorithm trying to tell me something? Is the guy that created this algorithm, social engineering guy that created this FYP for me, For You page for me, trying to tell me something? And then I realized maybe it's because I liked something with growth. And sure enough, I did. I liked this TikTok talking about growth mindset. I think it was a clip from the Andrew Huberman show. Now, I've watched that show a couple times. Or it's not a show, it's a podcast. He's a good guy. He's a doctor, I think. I'm not sure. But he's way smarter than me. So I highly suggest you guys go check him out, Andrew Huberman. And he's way bigger than me, obviously. But he talks about how to enhance performance and learning and all that fun stuff, physically, mentally. And I'm looking at a video right now called Applying Growth Mindset, right? And, he probably talks about the scientific background of growth mindset, but, I kind of want to talk about not the scientific, what happens in your head, right? When you apply the growth mindset. When I say growth mindset, I'm mainly talking about learning from your mistakes. Now, obviously, that's not what it all means. That's why I take it as, right? Learning from your environment, right? Growing into your environment, right? Oh, there's a game out there that, well, anyway, never mind. Well, there is a game out there, I forgot the name, but it kind of takes you along this journey and it makes you grow into the game, right? Not having to force you to grow into it or having the game grow into you. I don't know. It's a weird analogy. I forget how someone put it, but I like that. I like how you grow into your own environment that you create, right? I think that's a very kind of good saying to take it back and look at, right? Because it's you growing into your environment. So you can shape your environment however you want, right? Your living conditions, the food you eat, the sleep you get, what you watch, what you consume, what exercise you do, right? That's part of that is what you do as well, but also your environment, right? Surrounding yourself with good people. I think that's very important to do, right? Shaping your environment around you. And then you can grow into that, right? Grow into the change, right? Recently, I've been striving for change, right? Don't settle with comfort. Now, obviously, settling for comfort is good in some situations, right? Because some days you just need to take it back and stop being stressed out and chill, right? Stop growing for a little bit, right? Put a pause on that. But not for too long, right? That's where people get stuck. And that's where I've been stuck for the past couple of years, where I've been, chillax and resting, not learning anything new. But then I've started to realize that we need to be growing every day. I'm not saying you have to do this, but for me, I want to be growing every day, learning something new, and never stop the learning cycle or the growing cycle of the mind, in a sense. I know that's a lot of information. I just want to clarify, I'm not telling you that you have to grow. I'm just saying give it a shot. It can't hurt, right? How does growing your mind in a positive direction negatively affect you, right? Just give it a shot, right? Give the learning, give the new idea a shot, give the new subject a shot, maybe the new math class you're taking, right? Give that a shot, right? Give everything a good try. And if you don't like it, you don't like it, right? You don't have to grow into that area of expertise, right? This is why there's so many things to do in life, right? So many opportunities for you, so many things to make money if you want to make money, right? Recently, I've been trying to change my mindset around money, where um, I'm trying to treat money as, I guess, not an object or not something I should be emotional over. Now, obviously, I've been watching some day trading guys. I can't think of the names right now, but there's a lot of bloat in that space, right? A lot of meh content, a lot of re-garbage, recycled content, right? Re-garbage. What am I saying? Anyways, and you gotta kind of pick through it, right? Because if you think about it, well, I'm gonna go into a little spiel about trading, even though I'm not supposed to. We're talking about growth here, but uh, part of growing as a trader or the stock market is that you realize that you need to create your own strategy, your own way of how you perceive the market, right? And this can be applied to any industry, right? Because I guarantee you, everyone doesn't think of the same thing the same way. Now, obviously, there might be some occurrences where I think of trading stocks in this way while someone else thinks of it the same way I do. But the reason why the stock market works and there's winners and losers and a lot of losers is because we all think differently. And sadly, the people that don't think right or think they think right sometimes lose. And that's where the winners win, right? There's always someone betting against you. That's the moral of the story here. When you're growing and when you're, growing mentally, growing throughout life, there's always someone betting against you, right? Just think of the stock market. Now I know some of you may not want to think of the stock market, but just think of it, right? There's always someone betting against you, right? Because when you buy something, someone thinks this is going to go down, so they sell, right? So just remember, there's always someone betting against you. But that can mean a good thing. That can drive you to do great things, right? Because you always know. You can always prove that haters or doubters wrong, right? So what I want you to take away from this video is have a growth mindset. Um, do your own research into growth and into growing mentally. And growing for everyone can happen in many shapes and forms. All right. I hope every single one of you has a good afternoon, good evening, and good night, and good morning. And I hope every single one of you can find peace in your lifetime.